What happens in those moments like Christmas, those special holidays, Christmas, Easter, when you get lonely, birthdays? What do you do?
Christmas, I enjoy, for years, Christmas morning, I would be in Negril Beach. Beautiful sea. I go, I swim miles out. I have my goat.
And you don't miss him? You don't wish he was there?
Not at all.
The thought of him being with his wife,
Happy for them.
You're happy for them?
Yes. Because I know he's with his wife, or hope he's with his wife, and he's taken care of.
Were your children aware of the relationship between yourself and Mr. B?
Yes.
They were? What did they think of it?
Well, they were adults when my son was older. My daughter, when he was coming there, and I think it's important with the mistress, if she has a child, to know how to separate that child from that man, in as much as she's not sure how long that relationship may last. But her daughter, she needs to be able to can guide her and show her a path where she can also have respect for her. So it's important also that I didn't sleep with this, that, and the other. But Mr. B weren't allowed to come there until when my daughter was in bed or had gone to her room.
Okay.
So there was special time when he could come and when he was in
By the time they got older and were able to have an idea or notions about relationships, do you think they suspected what was happening?
Oh, they know. But they didn't need to suspect. I'm very open.
Did they ever ask you about it?
In fact, the night I met Mr. B, it was my son who took me to that. It was through who they were working for, why I went to the party, went to that function. Yeah. Yes, so they know him.
But did they ever ask about the relationship?
They didn't need to ask. They saw it from the first night.
Yeah. Were you curious as to what sort of notions they were developing in their own minds vis-a-vis relationships?
No, I think at that time my sons were 18, 17, 18. They were young adults. I don't think that my relationship with him then would have an impact. If there were 5 or 7 or 8 in that age group growing up, I think it would be different. Yeah. But not when they were young men now having their own life.
But were you curious as to what sort of impressions that they were developing where women were concerned and relationships?
Well, I know they know that they're living into a world that this is what happens. So it was a question of how I conducted myself with that man. I think that would have been important to them.
What about your daughter? Were you concerned of how she might be viewing men?
Well, as I said, she hadn't met him. She knew I was married before. She knew that the marriage didn't work out. And I don't think that it affected her at all.
Is she married?
She's not married yet, no.
No? Never been?
Never been. My sons have married. But she hasn't yet. But she says it's hard to find a good man, and she hasn't got a friend who is happily married, so it doesn't encourage her. Plus, she has a daughter, and she has a couple investment, and she's afraid she doesn't want to marry, and this man come and get her homes because she wants it for her daughters,